Hi, I'm Claude Harmon, Director of Instruction here at the Butch Harmon Floridian. Today we're going to talk about putting. A lot of different ways to putt, a lot of different styles. One of the things that we've done is we've created an indoor putter studio. We're going to go inside, kind of show you what we do inside in our putting studio. That's where we collect data. Want to see as much information as we can and gather as much information as we can about your putting stroke. Then we're going to come back outside, take a look at what you do, how your putting stroke holds up in the real world. All right, so we're in our putter studio here and wanted to talk to you all a little bit about how we work on putting. We've got some video cameras in our putter studio here. We've got 6 cameras, and basically what we try and do is film how the golf ball is performing. So you can see here we've got some high-speed video of how the golf ball is performing. The only thing we're really looking for here is, does the golf ball perform the right way? How does the student roll the golf ball? What type of spin do they put on the ball when they putt? We're not really interested in teaching a specific style of putting. All we're trying to figure out is we film the golf ball from 4 or 5 different angles and just look at what the putter and the ball are doing and how the putter and the ball roll the ball. So we can see here at address, we can see a number of things here. But what we're really looking for here is how the golf ball is rolling. Is it spinning backwards? Does it have too much overspin on? So we start here by filming the golf ball, by filming the putting stroke, and we take a look at video of the way a student putts. So that's kind of the X-ray of their putting stroke. All we're looking for here is what's happening with the putter. Not worried about style, we just want to see how the golf ball rolls. Okay, so we've taken some video, and the video is kind of the X-ray of what your putting stroke is doing. We can look at how the ball spins, how the ball rolls, we can look at what your body's doing, and now we're going to kind of take an MRI of your putting stroke. We've got the SAM Putt Lab here, we've got a sensor attached to the putter, and this is really going to tell us everything that your putter is doing. So we as instructors don't have to guess. If your stroke has a little bit of a loop to it, if you take it straight back, straight through, if you take it in, come over it, whatever your stroke does, the SAM Putt Lab is going to tell us. So we never have to guess, and we always have data which kind of tells us what we see in video. So this is the MRI, video is the X-ray, and we can tell what your stroke is doing. The great thing I think the SAM Putt Lab does is it tells us a consistency rating. So if we have a student make 10 strokes and make 10 putts, we're going to be able to tell if their stroke does the same thing every time. So if their stroke does the same thing every time and they're consistent, we might not want to make a change. We're not really interested in teaching style. We don't really care how you putt. We just want to see if you can make the same stroke every time and if we can get your golf ball to perform. All right, so we've taken some video of your putting stroke, which is an X-ray. We've gotten on the SAM Putt Lab, which is kind of an MRI of what your putting stroke is doing. And now we're going to go ahead and check your putter. We've got a Scotty Cameron loft machine here. So we're going to go ahead and check to see what loft is on your putter, what lie is on your putter, and see if we can make some changes there. Do you have the right tool? This is the tool, and what we find a lot of times is people are using a putter that they just kind of pick up off the rack. It feels good, it looks good, but we actually want to try and gather as much data during a putter fitting and a putter analysis to try and let us know whether your putter works for you. So we're going to check the lie of the putter. We're going to check the loft of the putter. If we look at the video and you're spinning the golf ball back too much and getting a little bit too much backspin, we might change the loft of your putter. If the toe of the putter on video is too much up or too high, we might change the lie of your putter. So what we want to try and do is take all of the data that we've collected through video, through the SAM Putt Lab, which is kind of like an MRI of your putting stroke, and then we're going to check your putter to make sure that your putter is correctly fit for you. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to take all that information, we're going to look at the data, and then we're actually going to go out onto the putting green and do a putting skills test. That's kind of the real world. Okay, so we've gathered all the data for your putting inside in our putter studio. We've looked at it on film, we've put you on the SAM, we've checked your putter, and now we're going to come out into the real world because that's just data. We want to actually now see if you can putt on the putting green, which is where we score and where we can really see what your putting stroke's doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you putt some short putts, 2-3 foot putts like this. See what your stroke is doing. See how you make or miss these, which side. We're going to go to a longer putt. We're going to putt some uphill, we're going to putt some downhill, and we're just trying to get a gauge on what your stroke does. Do you have good distance control? Do you struggle on left to right putts? Do you struggle on right to left putts? Are you better uphill? Are you better downhill? And we're going to put you through as many different tests that we can, kind of to simulate what tour players go through. And it's something we do with all of our tour players that come through here. We have a putting skills test that we try and get all of them to go through. And what we're trying to figure out is if the data that we've got inside the putter studio matches what happens out here. And if something's wrong out here, and the data that we've collected tells us that something's wrong with your putting stroke, then we'll know we need to make a change. But if the data is telling us one thing, and you come out and you score off the charts on putting, on break, on left to right, on uphill, downhill, it shows us that you're a good putter. And even though the data collected might mean that your stroke doesn't necessarily look perfect, if you can putt, that's all that matters. So again, style means absolutely nothing. If you watch golf on television, some of the greatest putters in the world, Jack Nicklaus, Ben Crenshaw, Tiger Woods, 3 completely different styles of putting, but they all make a lot of putts. So what we want to try and do inside in the putter studio, collect the data. And outside here on the putting green, we just want to see what your stroke does. Can you make putts? Can you read putts? Can you have feel when you're putting? So data inside, real world out here, we'll find out if you can become a good putter.